So turning our attention now to a thought-provoking criminal case in Michigan. Jennifer and James Crumley have been sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter after their teenage son killed 4 of his classmates in 2021. So Ethan Crumley, their son, was 15 at the time of the shooting and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. So this makes his parents the first parents in the United States to be charged for a school shooting committed by a child. The question we want to talk about is, should this set a precedent for similar cases, and unfortunately there most likely will be similar cases moving forward.
Yeah, right? I absolutely agree with you guys. We're on the same page. I think the judge's decision was the right decision, and my only question is, why did this take so long? Because this is about accountability or the lack thereof, and Judge Cheryl Matthews, who was the one who was proceeding over this case, said it best. She's like, put it best like this: that was not about poor parenting, but repeatedly ignoring warning signs that a reasonable person would have seen.
Yes.
And I know we're gonna talk about gun laws because that's very important, but think about the laws that exist here for drunk driving. If a person goes into a bar and they are inebriated and they get served by a bartender and then they go into their car and they get a DUI and they kill somebody, not only is the person who drove the car accountable, but also the owner and the bartender. So this is exactly what this law is saying. It's like, it's not just one person. You also are living under the same roof. This is your child. You saw the warning signs and you didn't do anything. That is irresponsible, because if you had just opened your mouth, if you had just called the authorities, spoken to the school, maybe some parents would have their children today.
Got the help that he asked for repeatedly.
Literally done anything. Families would have their children and we would not be talking about this, and they chose to do nothing. So I think this is a wake-up call. I know parenting doesn't come with a guidebook, but I think this is a great wake-up call to parents. Your child is your responsibility. If you see something, say something. It's not good enough for you just to sit on your hands and just let horrible things happen.
You know, listen, parenting is really, really, really hard, and I wasn't following this case so closely, but clearly there were a lot of everything falling through the cracks, and I think these parents also have brought into this situation, not excusing bad parenting, but there's been a lot of generational trauma. It clearly seems there's a lot of addiction issues, et cetera, in this family, mental health issues in this family, but I do want to bring up the guns. There are bad parents around the world, but there are not kids shooting up schools around the world except the United States of America.
That's an excellent point.
So the reason why I want to bring that up is not to absolve the parents. Your parents, you have to raise your children the best to your ability. But what is that ability? Nobody needs a license to have a child. Anybody can have a child. And you can have 4 kids and 3 are great and 1 is just like, where did that child come from? So it's not always all just parenting, but I think this sentence simplifies a very complex issue. For every 100 Americans, there are 120 guns. The United States leads the world, all developing nations, in gun deaths every single year. There's not even a country that comes close. And there are a lot of countries that do. Sure, they have some gun laws. This sentence to me says you are more willing to punish parents than you are willing to look at your gun laws.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
What do you think? When I think of parents getting sentenced now, okay, this is good. This sets a precedent. I'm good. I'm glad that people are going to be monitoring, or at least looking at the warning signs for sure. But when I think of parental guilt, like, would they not feel so much guiltier if they had to live with the fact, and not go to jail, but live with the fact that their child has taken lives like this? They have to sit with this. They have to be in their communities. They have to go to the grocery store. They have to actually sit with the fact that they ruined so many families' lives. And if they go to jail, are they now absolving themselves of this guilt because that's their punishment? Then they're just going to jail. I don't know if they're
But listen, but death penalties, there are many states in the world, states in America that have death penalties. These kind of harsh penalties, like you're gonna go to jail if your kid kills somebody. Consistently, the statistics show harsh penalties do not deter criminals. This will not deter parents. No one's going to wake up and go, I need to be a good parent from now on. It's just not going to happen.
Not deter, but there's also, we have to remember the victims. And often in these cases, we always forget about the victims. And maybe them going to jail is for the victims to say, I just need someone to answer for my child not being here. And I don't want to run into you at the grocery store living your life because you chose to ignore all the warning signs about your troubled child, and I don't get to enjoy my child anymore. So you are going to sit in jail, and it's not going to bring my kid back, but it's going to make me feel a little bit better that you paid, and wake up call for everybody else.
Oh, man, that's so tough.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.